G'day guys, welcome to episode 177 of Ask Jack D. Today is one of the deepest answers I've ever given on this show as I reflect on what are the key 3 steps to writing a great book. This answer comes from deep within me and hopefully challenges anybody out there looking to create a book or content or a business of any sort to really step up and challenge yourself.
28 and I'm trying to shape history, pulling from the sky for some strength to take with me, line up the stars, fly away quickly and push the world forward like a tidal wave hit me. I ride the wave swiftly, I fear no man, check my titles mate quickly, came from the sky with the light of day in me and grew my own wings.
Welcome to Ask Jack D, episode 177. We are rolling through the episodes and we've got a tech meeting happening behind me. I'm not sure how they're going to fare, given how much I like to scream and shout during Ask Jack D. We'll see how the technicians go as we go through this episode. I love the tech guys.
Me too. Where would we
Just
be
look
without
over
them?
there, they're all amazing human beings. Far better at anything to do with tech than any of us could ever hope to be. So it should be, right? So it should be. Love those guys. I just hope they can navigate the noise that comes at them for the next 6 minutes.
Sure they can. We'll see.
What's going on, Rosie? How are you?
I'm great. Loving my microphone.
Rosie is really happy that she's got a mic.
know.
Last 3 or 4 episodes she's had a mic. Part of the...
Don't have to yell into the camera anymore, guys. I can just talk
You've always been
normally.
a proper character, but now
Yeah.
you're like... You're probably pretty much the star of the show, if I'm honest.
Maybe.
Do you guys watch this show for Rosie?
I think people tune into the live show for me.
I'm st- And
is
don't you love her modesty? I don't blame him.
Me neither. Okay, just
For the vote of
kidding.
confidence, Rosie. Appreciate it.
Okay, ready for the question?
Yeah.
All right. So today's question comes from Ryan from Facebook.
G'day, Ryan from Facebook.
So the question is, Jack, everyone in my opinion has a book in them. In your case, you have 2.
I got more than 2, Ryan.
What is the first 3 steps required to turn ideas in your head into a 300 to 400 page book?
Oh, Jesus. 3 steps. Really good question for a start, Ryan. And the reason I smile is because, man, Unwritten seriously challenged me. And it changed the way I view writing books, right? Like you speak to some like experts on writing books and they say, get all of the ideas out of your head, clump them together, they form your chapters, there's your book. And then if you actually speak to anybody that's been involved in producing, developing, distributing books that genuinely become bestsellers, I'm not talking about gaming some Amazon type system to become a bestseller for a day. I mean like genuine bestsellers that sell, sell over 5,000 copies, provided they're scanned through Nielsen BookScan. So if I write a book, a corporation buys 5,000 books, it's not a bestseller, right? Books have to be scanned by Nielsen BookScan in order to become a proper bestseller, right? And so the whole word bestseller, unfortunately, has lost a lot of its meaning because everyone's calling it a bestseller, even though technically it's probably not an accurate term. Unless you're an Amazon bestseller, unless they specify what kind of bestseller they are, then it becomes slightly more accurate. However, the definition of a bestseller is 5,000, provided they've been scanned and recognized by Nielsen BookScan. And when I say bestseller, I don't mean 5,000 copies, or I don't mean number 1 on Amazon for a day. I mean selling like 50,000 copies properly through retail channels and then corporate channels or bulk sales or whatever. Completely separate in my view. Like that's big deals that you do on the side. So proper bestseller, you should aim to not manipulate anything to become a bestseller. You should aim to produce something so phenomenally great that 25,000 people genuinely want to buy it as they walk through bookstores or as they scan Amazon or Booktopia or whatever, or Audible or whatever it might be, right? These people should genuinely love whatever you've produced, and then they'll talk about it, they'll share it, they'll champion it for you because it's come from a great place. right? And so UnProfessional, my first book, I wrote very fast. I wrote it in 4 days because I was looking, and UnProfessional is a great book, right? Like the success stories that we've had from readers literally all over the world. I had a guy from Saudi Arabia tweet me 4 days ago, and it had the cover of UnProfessional written, I think, in Arabic, right? So it was my face and it was the same design, but written in Arabic, and I'm like, that's so cool. I'd never seen UnProfessional in Arabic before. And so we get success stories literally from all over the world. So it's a great book. However, I wrote it very fast. With Unwritten, I wrote it slow relative to UnProfessional, but it's still quite fast in author type standards. And so 3 steps. First and foremost, write something that you care so much about. It has to be an extension of you. Don't just write another 7 steps to blah and put it in a ebook, or whatever. Write something that's truly meaningful to you, that's coming from a deep place in you. And it could be about anything. It can be about marketing, it can be about spirituality, it can be about you and your journey, it could be about your cricket career, it could be about anything, but it needs to be truly meaningful to you. And I think that when you put stuff out that's truly meaningful to you, for whatever reason, I don't know if the quality of work does enhance, it sort of maximizes the quality of work, but I think I actually view it as more of a spiritual sense. I think whenever I produce from here, it kicks and gets substantially more traction than when I produce from here, for instance, right? And so go beyond the mechanics and the manipulation of the book and try and create something from here that's really meaningful to you. Secondly, research the hell out of whatever you're doing, right? Even if you think you're really well informed, research it for like months, right? Some authors research stuff for years. A lot of the time as business owners, we don't have that luxury. But research, even if it's just after hours, right? So you keep the whirlwind, you keep your world sort of turning during the day, and after hours, you're on your couch, you've got a glass of red, and you're researching whatever subject matter you are going to write about. But you need to genuinely care, and you need to become highly informed around everything. So Unwritten, I was really confident with all of the philosophies and principles that I was thinking about, writing about, all of that sort of stuff. But I wanted to, and I don't necessarily research other people's opinions or other people's view. I was researching Nelson Mandela. I was researching Michelangelo. I was researching Albert Einstein. So what I would do is I researched Einstein for 3 weeks. I then write about Einstein, 8,000 words, and those 8,000 words then became an Einstein story in the final product of the book, probably about 400 words, right? So that's 3 weeks of research, 8,000 words, which could be an ebook in and of itself, all to get 400, maybe 400 to 600 really good, effective, accurate words on Einstein in the final product, right? So that's what I'm talking about around work ethic and genuinely caring. Now, why did I do that? Firstly, because I'm fascinated by Einstein, and I'm passionate about communicating the lessons that are evident throughout his life when examined properly, right? So it's coming from here. Secondly, I'm researching him to the 8th degree. Now, I've been researching Einstein my whole life, right? So I already knew Einstein. I could have wrote those 400 to 600 words anyway, but I didn't want to without having another final 3 weeks worth of research going into it, right? And so I do that, and then it comes 400 to 600. So that's what I mean by bringing a bit of integrity and depth back into authorship. That will differentiate you, because everyone's trying to write a book and, it's the best business card I've ever had. Cool, but is it actually giving the reader a great, and I don't mean good, I mean great experience and an enlightened sense of whatever it is that you're writing about, right? That should be your measure, not promotion, in my view. Promotion should just be a byproduct of producing something great. Have it come from here, research it, and then number 3 is to write, and this probably sounds like a whole bunch of hard work, right? It is. It is a whole bunch of hard work. The third thing is, don't do what all the experts tell you to do and clump together ideas and produce a book. That's a very intellectually easy and in some instances lazy way to write a book. What is better is to try and develop a cohesive and building narrative right throughout the entire book. So there's a beginning, there's a middle, the end, and it builds onto itself each of the way through, ending the book at a crescendo type moment. And so you're not left with a whole bunch of scattered ideas clumped together in, let's call them chapters. You've got this beautiful, seamless, cohesive, slowly building narrative right throughout the book. And that should be a challenge for anyone watching this book. If you haven't been an author for the last 10 years, everything I just said should be incredibly challenging. And reflecting on it, that's why Unwritten was incredibly challenging for me, because it was coming from here. So it's like, how do you take that and put it into a book? Secondly, I wanted to research everyone and anything that had ever influenced humanity in history. And lastly, I wanted to bring all of those different, from philosophy to spirituality, the greats of history, innovation and looking forward into the future, unbound by history. I wanted to bring all of these great high-level entrepreneurship, all of these concepts down into one slowly building cohesive narrative to finish on a crescendo moment. That is my 3 tips to writing a proper book that genuinely connects with the hearts and minds of your readers.
So what that means right now is my head's in